Hello, everybody. I'm going to actually find where the microphone goes. I feel like I'm Dr. Johnny Fever as we're coming back from a commercial break. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. We're going to do a little shuffle up and healing here today. Hope you're enjoying the energy. Boy, do we have some fun stuff going on here astrologically. Astrologically, we have some really kind of cool stuff going down because you have a trine going on with, first of all, you have Pluto and Mars in opposition. Always a good time. We're dealing with this for at least another couple of weeks. Happy election, everybody. If you haven't registered to vote, it's probably too late. Probably too late. But if you do it, if you've already done that and you're already kind of rocking it out there, oh, come on, Brandon. You should know where that is. Then by all means, early voting has started. Friends in Texas are actually talking about going in and doing their voting. And why is it important? Well, it's kind of important because you need to kind of do your stuff, right? You need to do your stuff. Yeah, I'm just going to go solo here. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Thanks so much for letting me know that I'm on. Hey, Black Bell, Melanie, Joanne, Paula. Oh my gosh, Pauline, Janet. Hey, Janet, I hope you got the email. I was a little bit late today because I have a little bit of a story. Oh, James Joseph is on. Tighten up, everybody. What's going on? The Colonel is here. Actually, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but welcome. Glad you're here. We got some things to talk about this weekend, right? So on Friday, I actually have a super cool thing going on. Haven't done it before. It's actually a full stage show. And give me just 30 seconds here, and I'll actually plop it up here. But I have events all this weekend, and it's funny. Being a medium in October, you kind of have a lot of stuff going on, right? It's a given. And people don't really realize how busy you get this time of the year. Like, it's insane. It's just insane. It's home parties. It's, getting out there. It's, doing stuff. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll start a class. All I had to do was hit send, and it took me the better part of the day because one of the things that I was sending actually was a corrupt file or wasn't in completion for whatever reason. It was an earlier version. That's what I found. So I had to kind of redump that one out there. But I'm going to be at the Glove in Gloversville. You can go to their website at theglovetheater.com and take a look at what's left. It is it's nearly sold out. It is a full-size theater. It is a fundraiser for them. They have a lot of their alumni support come in. And I'm just going to situate myself something. It looks like I'm like 5 years old. I'm thinking, hey, how you doing, everybody? Is this the microphone? Is that what I'm doing? Anyways, that's going to be a full stage show. It's going to be, it will sell out. It will sell out. Those of you that are local to upstate New York, tune into WEXT out in Amsterdam. You will hear me on the radio. We are cutting our shtick tomorrow. And it's a 10-minute interview. And it is, something really, really, really cool to help them and their community theater. Community theater really got beat up during the pandemic. I mean, they couldn't do shows, they couldn't do whatever. And even now they're kind of getting their feet back, but you have so many choices that you're like, okay, what am I going to do? So that's where some, medium names like me come out and go, hey, come on out, check out the theater, get involved. I was down in Hudson a couple of weeks ago at the Park Theater. I have another thing that I will be announcing here probably right after Thanksgiving of some things that are going to go on next year, but I'm stacked and packed. Texas, we're coming for you. Florida, I'll be there too. I'm going to be working with a couple of different venues and organizations out of town. It's kind of the best way for me to attract, the right crowds. SoCal, haven't forgotten about you. Canadian border, north of Seattle, haven't forgotten about you. and there's some parts in between. And of course, I want to get back to Memphis as well, for a whole host of reasons. It might take my oldest out there. It's kind of a mini vacation for him because I want him to see the Civil Rights Museum. So we're having a good time, aren't we? Aren't we? I am gonna. Oh, that's what I need to do. I'm such a silly goose sometimes. I also have on Saturday, I'm going to be at the LBH Soul Center, and during the day, some of my friends are going to be up there during the day. We've got Sandy doing her crystals. So if you want to, see Sandy out and about, great place to go. If you go to lbh.com, if you just Google or go to my website, you're actually going to see my show. That's that night. Daryl's going to be there doing some work as well. And then James, of course, will be there. And then there's an Akashic Records reader who is really cool. I just caught their video just a half hour ago, I think. And, it's one of those things that, like, getting out there into community it's a ton of fun. So during the day, it's kind of a psychic fair. That's how they named it. It is. He's got this really cool idea where he's moving from like a hair salon into a wellness center. And I'm actually seeing a lot of this. I actually know a handful of hairdressers that are looking at this as more of a light work. And it's about time, because I've always considered them kind of in the triumvirate of, like nurses, teachers, counselors, therapists, and, hairdressers, because they're really doing the work. They're really diving in. They're really connected. They're sitting in your third eye while they're working on your hair. And it's a ton of stuff. It's a ton of great stuff, and they really do a great job. The impressive part about this kind of leap is, and the thing that I've really kind of realized, if you watch the places that I go to, it's places that kind of, you can fill a haunted space this time of the year if you're a medium. Piece of cake, right? And by the way, the glove, little haunted, right? I like going to the places that need to feel the connection. That's why I went down to Oneonta. That's why I was in Bainbridge. That's why I'm, headed back out to Utica. That's why I'll be in Oneida again. That's why I'm, up in Glens Falls. And, I've got limited stuff here. I am working on another thing here locally, but, it's one of those things that when you connect the dots and you start to realize like what works for you, you got to remember to have fun with it. And those of you that follow me personally know that the last week has just been off the hook with, I can't really go in depth with it, but the missing persons work that you do, like, rarely bears fruit. And then to have 3 situations actually get validation lets you sleep at night. And it's something else. It's something else. And, there's moments where you want to throw up your hands and be like, well, I was right. And, and then there's other times where you're just so frustrated and you're angry, and that the right thing needed to happen and it didn't, or that you just want closure for them. You just want to go differently. And to have 3 different things. By the way, Penny found her cat. You're welcome. I didn't find them. I didn't find George, but he was cited in some place that I said, hey, this is where you're going to find him. And sure enough, she's like, holy shit, you got it, B. Thanks again. But I'm more happy for her to know that he's at least safe. And by the way, he wants to be there. He wants to be outside. He's a cat, for crying out loud. Sometimes people don't want to be found, by the way. Don't assume that when somebody goes missing, there ain't a reason. Which, by the way, keep that in mind if I ever go missing. But it's a rewarding piece to it where, even when the needle moves on a case, it's not necessarily what we would consider closure. Like, we didn't get, we didn't catch them or we didn't whatever, but to have it move from, your loved one abandon you and never talk to you again, and then it turns to, oh no, something happened to them, and it's now a homicide. That's a big deal because you're no longer abandoned. You were, that person was taken. It doesn't make it any less tragic, but there is a peace of mind to kind of run with that, and to have. I got personal with a case, and and I got personal because it was a foster care situation, and the I just took it personal. It's actually part of how I became a foster parent in a weird sort of way, but um you have to have a level of accountability, and the astrology 101 class, by the way, it's locked out, guys. You can't sign up now. I'm not doing catch ups. I'm not doing any of that. I'm sorry if you're not in there and you wanted to take it. Oh, woe is me. I can't. I'm not going backwards anymore. It's one of those things that I was like, oh, how many other people? And then I realized I wasn't getting my footing for the people that were in the class. So yeah, I don't want to shortchange them. But one of the things that we talked about in astrology that I'm going to actually pull together as a full curriculum part of it is understanding the ages, and understanding the age of, as we're moving through the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius, what are those changes that we're going to need to make? And one of the big ones is personal accountability. And I think with all the political wrangling and all that other stuff, we're literally seeing what not to do, and we're literally seeing what accountability is. And by the way, I don't think that one side definitely presents better, um, but don't think that everybody's innocent here. Do not think that the antithesis of a dipshit is the smartest person in the room, right? And and I don't say that to insult anybody, but we so often just think, well, especially on the political side of it, that we say, oh, well, I guess it's okay. I guess this is the better candidate. But what did we really learn with that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to make this a political show, but I will tell you, on Saturday at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard, Penny and I are going to be talking about the U.S. election. This is one of those planned shows that she and I are going to start doing on the regular, about every 3-4 weeks. We're gonna pull together. Saturday's work for her. I'm gonna carve out time for that. Busiest day of the week for me, but okay. It's that important to me, so I want to be able to do it. You're going to be able to catch it on my channel, on her channel. Do us a favor, watch it on both. I don't know. Maybe you can kind of do that with a little magic. Yeah, the algorithms actually go through the roof with that, and they had so many collaborations that YouTube finally lessened the mark when it came to ownership of it. They did realize that like YouTube collaborators kind of work together. And we're going to be doing another one the following Saturday after Election Day. I have to double check that. It might be 2 weeks. You got to let the chaos kind of happen. But, this is going to be our U.S. election show. We're going to actually talk about this. Here is our creative process. And I love you, Penny. She sends me like 15 charts, and then I'm like supposed to kind of like do a producer thing and put them all together. And and the reality is I literally don't put them together until like 10 minutes before, because she always changes her mind 15 times. Right. Um, yeah. Connie's asking about tables of six. You'll have to contact the theater. From what I understand, they only have the gallery seating at this point, and the table seating is all sold out. The gallery seating is almost all sold out. That theater will be packed, 100% packed. So Gloversville, Friday. Glens Falls on Saturday. On Sunday, I am going to be at Mocha Lisa's here in Clifton Park. I'll be signing some books. Really excited. Yeah, Connie, hope to see you though. Signing my book, having a good time. They've got a booktacular. I don't know. I just have fun with it. Good people over there. I want to encourage local authors as well. And then, of course, have private events, and you know how it goes this time of the year. I've announced a few other shows again out in Utica. Also going to be back at Great Sacandaga Brewery. Tickets are selling fast for that one, and then I'm also doing a pizza party in downtown Waterville. They're at none other than Deacon Blues. Those of you that know Deacon Blues, you know their pizza. You know, I had somebody buy tickets already and actually said, um, "I'm okay if I don't get a rating. Just make sure I get two pieces." Like I'm like, "Oh, okay, no offense taken." No offense taken. So, anyways, what else is new in the world? So, I wonder what Donald Trump's credit score is because he's working at McDonald's now. So, I'm starting to wonder what that staged fright was. And, and everything was staged and they admitted it, which, I mean, kudos for them. What growth? What growth? And is this Donald Trump learning empathy? Forced empathy. It was framed in the idea of being able to make fun of Kamala. So he jumped at that opportunity. And what inadvertently happened is he received a little bit of empathy to be like, this is friggin' work. Like, I don't see that as a bad thing. I know it's a publicity stunt and I know it's whatever. I mean, take it for what it is, but let's look at the energy for 30 seconds and say to yourself, like, can somebody be taught empathy? And listen, I know that there's visceral responses to this because you've got this wave of vileness that just follows, and kind of segregated hatred and anger and entitlement and Karenisms and just whatever. But in that moment, do you think what happened is he said, "This is hard work. This ain't easy. I mean, I'm supposed to do what? Make sure my apron is big enough, right?" Isn't that funny? The McDonald's closed, huh? Yeah, Adrian, you're a little bit ahead of me, but yeah, it's really difficult to teach empathy because empathy is, when I was coaching baseball, sportsmanship was kind of the key. Where you were just like, listen, nobody's getting a Nike contract out of this season, but you could grow as a person, right? So you're going to work on fundamentals, the things that you have control over. You're going to get your glove down. You're going to look at the person when you throw the ball. When you swing, you're going to keep your head in, your shoulders in. You're not going to drop your bat. There's things that you can work on, right? You're going to run to first base. You're not going to kind of dawdle a little bit. But the part that we always emphasized us, in teaching baseball was being able to understand sportsmanship. And this is why, like, youth sports are so important. You learn empathy to be like, there's nothing wrong. And listen, my kids cry every time we play Mario Kart. Every fucking time. And you know what? Bullshit. You're going to be like, oh, I got the Yoshi. Something. And let me tell you something. When my kids win, they get to do the same thing back to me. It's a relationship builder. But on a sports field, on a baseball field, soccer field, what have you, taunting and talking down and trash talking can get really out of control, right? And part of where that comes from is being able to say, like, and I remember saying this to a team, your best was better than their best today. Yeah, Pauline, it's give it a second. I'm realizing I've got a little bit of internet love going on. Um, just gonna make sure that I'm here. Oh, and by the way, thanks so much. Um, thanks so much to a few people that are jumping in here. Um, I'm seeing the website be very busy here. Um, Are you doing internet stuff? Yeah, can you? Thanks. I'm realizing a couple of the things here. All right, am I back? I hope I'm back. Hope I'm back. The internet stream. Yeah, just want to make sure that we're. Just want to make sure we get the most out of it. But the whole thing that in that moment, it's the one thing that you can't reteach, right? It's it's the only moment where you can teach empathy to be able to say like what's appropriate. And there is a thing of like you can razz somebody and still do it in good, in positive sportsmanship, good sportsmanship. But generally, if it gets taken the wrong way and say, "Hey, Liz, I didn't mean for you to, react that way. I was, kind of giving you a hard time because I want to have that banter with you. But if you're not okay with it, that's cool. You played a good game. I played a good game. I played what I did worked for me and worked for our team, and that's why we won." But it's also when you lose, there's empathy to remember. I remember it was a championship team. We were 0-12, literally, for the season. There were 4 teams that played. By the way, this is my favorite story ever. Where's Sean Bova when I need him? And we had like 2 games that we got blown out on. Typical little league stuff. Like it just wasn't our thing. We were throwing the ball all over the place. Dun, 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 dun. The ball's in the outfield, And then, but most of the games we were losing by like 1 or 2 runs, and we would lose like in the last inning or whatever, right? Yeah, there it is, Sean, PAA. And I got frustrated in one game, and I was like, "Yeah, let's yell at him. Let's kind of do that." And they knew me to kind of be the empathetic. Oh, you'll try harder, whatever. We got to do this. I come out there like Zimmer. And one of the kids said to me, they were like, "I don't want to play anymore." I go, "Oh, really? You don't want to play anymore?" They were like, "Well, do you want to yell anymore?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to yell." He was, "All right, I'll keep playing." It told me everything about energy. It told me everything about coaching. It told me everything about empathy. We were 0-12, and then we were 2-0 in the playoffs and won the championship. And I remember the team that lost. By the way, we got all of our players back. We had one person with a broken foot. We had another one that was on like 2 traveling teams, and we had another. It was just, it's like we barely had 9 most of the season. And then when we got those last 3 or 4 kids back, we were flush. We were like, we don't know where to put them all. It's like we got 7 pitchers. It was awesome. And but it just all clicked, like, because even like how good they were, they're like, oh, we got that one back, oh my gosh, we that one doesn't have to catch, we actually have a catcher and we can put him in the outfield, which is where he's better at. And they were just dynamic kids, and they were all good kids, and they were just like, they were browbeaten from going 0-12. They were shaking hands every game going, good game, good game, good game, good game. And then when we won the first game, I remember looking at the other coaches going, did we just do that? The hell we did. The hell we did. We absolutely did. We took them by the fur and we went, and we went, and we didn't just win. Like, we won by like 8 or 9. Like we were handily winning. It wasn't nip and tuck and we got the accidental score at the end of the game. We manhandled them. And I can't remember if it was the first game in the playoffs or the second game in the championship game. And the other coach just let his kids have it. And I remember sitting there going, what a missed opportunity. And they're good kids. They were all good kids. In my book, there is 1 out of 100 kids that play baseball that aren't good. 99% of them are good. And 98.7% of them won't play beyond high school years. It's just statistically where it's at. So to say to somebody, hey, listen, you just missed an entire opportunity to win a championship. You'll never get it back. And you need to feel this, and you need to understand that they'll never, you're going to look back on this and think, some of you are graduating this year, and you'll never get this 12-year-old moment back. And we as coaches were looking at each other going, whoa. It made us tough to celebrate, to be honest with you, because we didn't want to make them feel any worse. This coach was doing it for us. But I was really proud of the kids that day that went over and picked them up after and said, you guys took us 3 times during the year. We just got it together. Hey, you guys played a great game. You guys had a great season. We literally watched our kids learn the conditioning of what it feels like to be stepped on every single game and walked over and lifted up an entire team. That's empathy. By the way, those kids right now are at the junior and senior level of the Cohoes High School program. And this season, they are going to kick serious ass because they're all good kids. Oh, and by the way, the one kid that you stick at shortstop that is like 4 foot nothing will eventually be 5'8", 5'9", and get around and will be a lefty and keep playing. And the kid that, by the way, had trouble with wherever he was going and the anxiety and the whatever, just kept getting put into those situations time and time again. And now they're an all-star pitcher for the sectionals. I know I'm ringing bells over there. And, maybe that's the 2 out of 1,000 that end up going on and playing. But it's, you look back at that and our jobs as coaches, our jobs as parents, our jobs as individual people that care about the world, the game at hand, the people in front of us and the people around us, 100% did our job. Every single one of us, and the parents too. A lot of people don't give credit to coaches when they manage the parents correctly too. That's a thing. It's a huge thing. Because if you don't manage the parents and the parents go rickshaw, they get in the car and they're like, all the things that coach said is stupid. Don't listen to him. Listen to me. I batted 200 in the minor leagues in 1970. I'm the best. Everybody's got a job. And I remember pulling kids aside at the end of games going, hey, this is what they're doing well. These are the things that they're working on. When you take them in the backyard and have a catch with them, why don't you work on this? They'd give homework. By the way, then their opinion, they were on the team then. Just because they weren't on the field didn't mean they weren't on the team. It's a thing. Managing people 101 is an energetic connection all the way through. Yeah, very cool. I hope I stabilized here. I think I did. And I think I know why I didn't. Oh, yeah, I got a couple of commercials here at the end that I'm going to play that are kind of funny. So why don't we, yeah, Sean, how do you like my perspective on that, by the way? Oh, and by the way, my kid was a bench dweller. He had that season. This is a true stat. That season, he batted .067, but he led office managers are AO. He batted .067. He got 1 hit all season, but he walked all the time. He either struck out or he walked. He swung the bat maybe 3 times. He led the league in stolen bases because as soon as he got on first, he'd just take off for second. We didn't even tell him. And then we get to third. And then he stole home once. He stole home more than once. But I mean, stole home when nobody was looking. Stole home when nobody told him to go. He was just like, He was busting their balls is what he was doing. He was like, I'm going to go. He had 23 stolen bases in a 12-game season. 14 if you count the championship. He had 23. That was his contribution. He goes, Dad, I'm not a very good baseball player. Matter of fact, when they hit it to me, I'm thinking, we're in trouble. Like, you say this to me. We do like our conversation. He'd be like, can we get Burger King? Sure, we'll get Burger King. As much as we like the burgers there, sometimes in a small town and people don't like you because you yell, dig, 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 dig. Which, by the way, is my calling card, patent pending. sometimes they don't like you, and then the little one who is very intuitive will say things like, "Dad, I think somebody spit in this." I'm just saying. That's awful advertising. But what do I care? You kicked me out, so here we are. Um, Godspeed to that. And by the way, enjoy the World Series. Yankees in 6. There, I said it. For entertainment purposes only. I think it's great to be able to see Ohtani firsthand. They've got the middle 3 games. I think it goes back to LA. And I think they just run out of juice. I think the Yankees take him. I think they split in LA, and then the Yankees just pour it on. They come back 3-2 and then just take it. Number 29 in the wings. Is it 29? I think so. I don't know. I should do that spread. How will the Yankees and the Dodgers do? And by the way, how classic is that? Let's roll out Fernando Valenzuela. Remember him? The original Duque? Remember when he used to breathe through his eyelids and we needed a live chicken? I'm just making shit up now. Wasn't that fun? Sean, I'm glad you enjoy it. Pauline, yeah, we stabilized. Opie, yeah, okay, I got you. Yeah, it seems to be a gathering of Scorpios. So the transition from Libra to Scorpio here tomorrow is actually it's actually the most stark comparison in the astrological chart. The difference between Libra and Scorpios are pretty vast. Second only to maybe if you're going from Pisces to Aries a little bit, but that would kind of make sense. I think, if I want to say it that way, or Aries to Taurus. But anyways, actually, no, what I should say is Aries to Taurus is actually probably the easiest, but take my class, you'll enjoy it. But it's because there are so many kind of conflicting personalities in Libra to Scorpio. Libra season is really kind of like a synchronization. You start to get back into nature. You start to kind of get into a workflow again. You start to feel synchronized with learning, that sort of thing. And then there's a character building time called Scorpio, which is going to allow us to kind of see and reveal things. And by the way, the astrological placements right now, as things move into Scorpio, and you've heard a lot of astrologers talk about it, secrets revealed, which is why so many people that have gone missing are suddenly coming up now. We're going to see more. I also think we're going to have still here an October surprise. And we kind of already got it, but we just shrug our shoulders because we're so immune to it, which is the problem. I mean, if you read the indictments and all the stuff that kind of came out of that, dude was a full-on Russian operative, guys. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, I'm sorry, what? Oh, well, he's going to make things great again. He is a carpet salesman. He's a carpet bagging oil salesman. Snake oil salesman. Oh, by the way, I saw a snake this morning. Love the change dynamic with that one for sure. Yeah, nothing about being a Pisces makes sense. Well, because it's the critical duality. Up is down and down is up. It's what we do, right? The full moon in Aries, I'm seeing Black Bell mention it over on the YouTube channel, was a really significant eye opener. How do you do? Because full moons shed light. Full moons also allow us to recognize how what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, right? It's also a great time to release it, to be like, okay, this isn't working anymore. Part of the full moon release is you saying, okay, I tried, but it don't work anymore. I don't really know why it doesn't work anymore. And then you just start to say, yeah, no, I'm going to let it go. I'm just going to say, okay, got to go. Here's the exciting thing. And this is the part that I get excited over, is that we're kind of getting close to a pretty significant reveal. And you can say it's election day, but I also think that if you look back at what's going on in this country, is how much how much the oh shit parts have happened. The parts where we begin to say, my neighbor thinks what? We have to take a time out. The spiritual people connected to this, we are light years ahead of a dramatic number of people in this world. And they're going to have the veil lifted over their eyes, from their eyes, and they're going to start to see this. We have to treat everybody with kindness. This isn't a spot to, this is a time for good sportsmanship. This is a time to say, well, our person won by 61% of the popular vote. You heard it here first. Our person won 308 electoral college votes. Our candidate was this, that, and the other thing, and we don't rub it in our face. We don't do it. We become a class act. We have to do it because it's the right thing to do. We have to do it because there's a woman in charge and we're not going back. We need to do this because this is time to set the tone differently. And by the way, I don't think perfection has taken the office. Do not ever think I think that. But I'm going to tell you this right now. Liz Cheney's going to get a cabinet position. Kinzinger's going to be involved some sort of communications position. Pete Buttigieg is going to get promoted 6 ways to Sunday. There's 2 Republicans and a gay man in it that are prominent in a cabinet. It's not pandering. They're fucking qualified. They're beyond qualified. I don't agree with everything Harris does. I didn't agree with everything that Walz does. But I'll tell you, if I meet him, I'm putting him in my pocket. I'm taking him home. But just because I don't agree with everything, it feels normal, though, to say, like, I really like this, and this, but this one right here we got to talk about. That is healthy debate. That is a healthy way to look at how you move it forward. A difference of opinions. We are bought and sold 6 ways to Sunday. Our politicians are bought and sold 6 ways to Sunday. In 2010, the open pact agreement came into place, where you could donate as much as you freaking wanted to a Republican PAC or Democrat PAC. Happened on Obama's watch. And it allowed the floodgates of quid pro quo donations. That's dangerous. That is so ridiculously dangerous. Oh, and by the way, you know who pays for it? We do. How are your prices right now? It's 100% greed. 100% greed. We're going to grift for more money so we can give it to more political candidates. Like, I'm sorry, what? So then are you voting when you go to Chick-fil-A for them to donate to somewhere else? Because that's our attitude now. I don't go to Chick-fil-A because they're going to donate and they don't give employee rights that align with my value system. A company shouldn't have, they're going to have a culture, they're going to have policies, and they're going to have ideas. If you want to be closed for 1/7 of the business week because you want to give it to your people to worship, that's fantastic. Congratulations. If you want to make sure that you're trying to dictate and reach into their lives and tell them what they can and cannot do, up to and including contraception, we need to do a full stop on this and say, I'm sorry, who are you? What are you doing? Margaret Atwood on line 1. It was a Handmaid's Tale joke, everybody. Hope you got it. We need to start recognizing, and I'm going to have this video out. I'm going to put it out going into next weekend. And it's the 5 things this country has to do in order to become energetically positive again. Not great. What the fuck is that? How about we become an energetic powerhouse again? Not with intimidation, but with transparency. How about we become a powerhouse because our word will actually mean something again? How about transparency because we're not playing cloak and dagger with Russian operatives. Those of you that follow Nostradamus, raise your hand. A whole bunch of you. Nostradamus made a very chilling and insanely accurate prediction, and it's coming true right now. There will be an alliance between the eagle and the bear that will be both unsightly, untimely, and very unique. He literally predicted Russia collusion. They basically, if you read it one way, you think it's World War III, Russia and the U.S. versus China, right? And there's a whole dynamic of the Russia collusion stuff that Nostradamus has been nailing left and right. I mean, short of saying the word dossier, he basically said that, the file of the compromised or the space of the compromised is brought forward to know that he'll always be sullied and there will never be replenishment. In other words, he's owned by Russia. Like, if there was even a half a sniff of this in 1988, they would have been run out of Washington in whatever, right? Donna Rice and Gary Hart are still paying the price for their love. But this guy goes around New York City and sack tickles everybody, robs the other half that he doesn't assault, and then pulls the grift in another town three states over. And then, part of the reason why he's not campaigning is because he owes too many people too much money. He cannot actually go into. He can't actually go to half of the states that he's trailing in. And there's a reason why they're trailing. Because you, Joe Q Public, found out that Bob and Sue owned a restaurant and he stuck them for the bill back in 2016 when he was running then. And he was like, oh, that's just nonsense. I thought it was a contribution. I'll take it as a tax write-off. No, I handed you the bill and you said, I'll have somebody cut you a check when I get back to the office. You know what it's like to pay for whatever presidential horse shit they come through with? That McDonald's lost money that day in that publicity stunt. Oh, and by the way, the franchise owner broke the rules of franchise ownership and will likely lose their franchise. But Donald doesn't care about that. Donald doesn't give a shit about the wake that he leaves behind. And by the way, Kamala at least says, I care about you enough to know that this is going to affect you. I hope it's positive. If it's not, let's see what we can do. I think she's somebody that does enough cleanup, which, by the way, is looked at as weak, looked at as insecure, that's looked at as whatever. Meanwhile, their demagogue has never been punched in the face. Oh, sure, he was shot at. I can't wait for that to come out. Ugh. And the fact that somebody died because of it. Ugh. I'm telling you, we're going to know the truth. It might take a couple of trips around the sun, but we're going to find out how much full of shit all of these publicity stunts have been. And I'm not talking McDonald's and fries. I'm talking about near misses and in miraculous ears. And the worst part is he actually is reaching people that are so disenfranchised because guess what? The 2000 election, that's the one that was stolen. Hanging chads. By the way, had Florida gone to Al Gore, Al Gore would have won. There wouldn't have been a George Bush in the White House. More importantly, there wouldn't have been a Dick Cheney. most importantly, there wouldn't have been a 9/11. Yeah, I just said it. So this operative playbook about messing with our elections has bared fruit more than once. This has to be too big for them to think that it could be anything but the truth here. I mean, the reason why good mediums are historians, by the way, because we have to recognize patterns. Great astrologers are good historians. And being able to recognize that the 2000 and listen, I'm going to tell you, I was like, yeah, Bush should win and those votes and whatever. But the more that I looked at it, I'm like, it following the 2000 election really gave us an insight about intention. If you follow the timeline, it was about the intention of what was going on, right? They were like, well, if the hanging Chad, remember the hanging Chads? If the bullet thing didn't go all the way through like if it just pierced it, any common person would say, well, the rest of the sheet is clean except for that one right there that voted for Al Gore. But they're like, oh, no, 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 no. They must clear it entirely in order to do that. Now, why is it in 2000 and don't even get me started in 2024 that we can't have a clean election? That we can't have the technologies? Like, we went to the fucking moon. I can talk to somebody. I have a show with somebody in the middle of the freaking Mediterranean. You mean to tell me you can't figure out the technology to go, here's my thumbprint and here's my vote? Well, there's too many technical glitches and that's a lot of money and blah, blah, blah. You guys like to spend money. You spend money on all sorts of shit. How about on a process to get it right? How about spending on immigration? Brandon, those guys get so much money. No, 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 no. I'm talking about the process of hiring enough lawyers and judges to get them through so that then they can get their justice. And by the way, if they have to go back because of the rules in place, they have to go back because of the rules in place. I know I blanked out a little bit there. But we love war. One of the things that I'm going to bring up is we get obsessed with the problem. Yeah, I think I'm back. You should be back. What I think, I'm going to drop these. This might actually help because I had a video I was going to play, but I'm going to remove them. Oh, look at that. Everything snapped right up then. Yeah, everything snapped right up. I closed out some other videos. Not videos I was watching, but ones I was going to show. I don't know why. Anyways. We have to get obsessed with the solution instead of getting obsessed with the problem. Huge, huge, huge thing. Because if you obsess with the problem, that is where all the money is getting exchanged. Problem, 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 problem. We have been spending billions of dollars on cancer research every year. We have chemo, we have approaches, we have whatever. You mean to tell me that we haven't figured out the dynamics of cancer yet? Oh, the nutcase that talks about a proper pH balance. The nutcase that talks about raw vegetables instead of processed food. The crazy people that you see what I'm doing here? If you're healthy, you're no good to a pharmaceutical company, let alone a doctor. I'll never forget it. Being a type 2 diabetic. And I became diabetic because I had an infection in my foot. And my body just gave up. They were like, my body's like, do we save the foot or do we just worry about the sugars? And going type 2 diabetic, I said, okay, so What's the plan? Like, I'm going to go on these things. My foot's going to heal. How long do I have to be on these drugs? And they laughed at me. The doctor laughed at me and they were like, you're on this forever. There's no cure for this. It is unfortunately a degenerative disease and it will continue. And I'm like, oh, well, you're not a very good doctor, are you? And he's like, well, maybe if you lost some weight and maybe if you didn't hit the sugars and the whatever. He was judgmental. So was I. And I realized I almost got off everything. I lost 100 and whatever pounds. 150, 158, I think. And felt great, looked good, was starting to wean myself off of it. And sure enough, I had an Achilles thing and blah, blah, blah. It starts all over again. But it was getting close. I was getting close to saying to the doctor, and I remember, talking to them and saying, when do you think it's safe? Like, what should the drop down be? Should I start cutting things in half? Should I start taking them every other day? What do you think is the best way to do this? And they had panic because they were obsessed with the problem, not with the solution. Their entire paycheck was based on how much drugs I took from them. And by the way, if you ever want to see skullduggery in the medical world, go in and say to another practitioner, I need this script and it's run out. And they hand it right out. They hand it right out. They make sure you get that within seconds because they steal it. They steal it from the other person. But it's not about, it's like, well, everybody else does it to me. Last thing before we start doing some dealing here. Anybody else watch the New York Jets game? Not this week, but the previous week. And by the way, I would love to do the football picks again. I don't have time in the week. I would love to. Aaron Rodgers, in his infinite grace, was basically saying, they lost the game. They stink. They just stink. And they were playing. This was the game after the Vikings game, I think. And one of the players sacked him. He came in, he gave him a big bear hug, and then they both fell down together. Well, that defensive player got a flag. They got a flag. Yeah, I think it was the Bills. It was the Bills because it was Esperanza. Anyways, dude's been on the team forever. Sacks him. Falls down on him. Right? And then after the game, Aaron Rodgers says, I didn't agree with that call because I don't know what he was supposed to do. And then 3 plays. He has a press conference after. Yeah, I'm seeing that, and I'm not sure why. I'm genuinely not sure why. I've got everything else closed. Yeah, sometimes it's the internet. Oh, I know why. There we go. That should be better. Get the resources down and underway and all this other stuff. But I want everything closed, everybody. I don't know what took me so long. Hopefully that'll work. But my problem with it is that then he goes to the press conference and he basically says, I don't agree with them. I don't agree with the referees. But then proceeded to manipulate the those calls. What is going on? Oh, now we're good. I think the entire thing had to reset because I'm seeing that it just reset. So the problem that I have with it is that he goes to the press conference, says, I don't agree with those calls, but he didn't decline the penalty because he's like, well, those are the rules. I have to follow whatever it is they say. No, in the age of Aquarius, you need to stand up and say, referee, I know that what you called is what you called, but we don't agree that that's actually how it is. You have to be able to self-police. In a nutshell, what Aaron Rodgers did was exactly the problem. Talk about being entitled. And by the way, I'm not getting personal here, but to an NFL quarterback that's struggling mightily, you're going to take whatever liberties you can, right? That's the problem. The liberties that he took are what the problem is. For him to denounce that the tackle was there, he was trying to look cool about it, right? He was trying to look like, oh, no, it was after he got fired. It was after the head coach got fired, who, by the way, you know, it's a good coach. They if they were going to make a change, like Aaron Rodgers doesn't like him, so he's a brat in the room. It's just, it's a mess. But again, this goes back to him saying, I denounce that, but he didn't actually put anything behind it. What he should have said is, we declined that penalty. That was a sack fair and square. We're going to punt the ball. Could you imagine taking it on the chin because you did the right thing? He has no sack, everybody. He had no sack on that sack. Then he went out and he manipulated the system to try and jimmy it so that then he could get down the field by throwing it over his defender's head. So the defender got confused, put his hands on him, easy call. He knew exactly what he was doing. Exactly. He manipulated the back judge there. How many times do we take things because it gets handed to us and we say, no, I'm good. Get this to somebody else that needs it? Or do we become the steward of it and move it forward? Oh, shit gets real when you ask that question, huh? How many times do we get the call by the referee and you're like, I don't know if that's right? Right? Now, I would say everything yes to that except for taxes. Taxes, you work that. Get your legitimate stuff, get your stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. But how many times as a blue-eyed, blonde-haired guy did the cop just say, have a good night, just drive safely? Didn't make it right. Didn't make it right. How many times did somebody get profiled and end up spending a night in jail and let go the next day going, well, we couldn't hold you? Due process. Due process for the blue-eyed white guy is way different than the racially profiled person. That's a fact. Now, should I say, oh, no, bring me in? I was doing 23 over the speed limit. You have every reason to bring me in. I could use a square meal here. What is equality going to look like when we become transparent? I'm getting excited about the prospect that, you know what? People are going to need to do a real gut check as we go into the age of Aquarius. By the way, we're all full of bullshit with this. Baby steps, and recognize when you do that. I did something today, and I'll talk about it down the future. But I grew today because I have someone in my family that has been ostracized by everybody, and I won't let it happen to me on my watch. Coolest person ever. Great ideas, smart, funny, good looking because it's a genetic thing. And I grew because once upon a time, it used to be something I would just talk about and be like, oh yeah, I have a cousin that. Nope. I'm going to have lunch. We're going to hang out. You're in my soul family for a reason. We're going to figure this out. If you don't challenge yourself every day to grow just a little bit, just a little bit, what are you doing with the body? You're wasting your time. Oh, and by the way, none of us are going to make it, so you only have so much time anyways. Let's get to the bottom of it and start doing this stuff. You're voting for it because you want to be the antithesis of it. Start living like it, and they can't beat us. Are you getting this yet? It's a big deal. Yeah. I like Sala too, by the way. And it was pronounced Sala. I'm going to read a few of your comments. We're going to start doing some shuffle up and healing. It's the same most autoimmune disease caused by the gut biome as well. Yeah, that's a thing. Probiotic is a big thing. I also take turmeric as well. Yeah, the gut biome thing is it's a big deal. Yeah, Amanda. By the way, I just realized I got your message. I'll connect here. Susan. Yeah, they lost by the point. Janet. Not sure what I said. Hope it got connected some way or another. Yeah, the idea is I'm acknowledging you guys for this with there's a lot of change in the energy now, and I'm sorry to kind of share the political side of things with the 2000 election, but that's where they learned how to manipulate the election. That's where they started to gerrymander things. By the way, one of the things we need to do: one vote, one person, one vote. Period. You need to canvass the United States. You need to canvass ideas. Notice how every platform that a president, and by the way, how is it that the number one killer in the United States right now is not a disease? It is not immigrants. It is not people eating the dogs and eating the cats. The number one killer in the United States right now is drugs. And apparently a biker gang outside. Hey, Kathy, how are you? The number one killer in this country right now is fentanyl. It is not heart disease. It is not cancer. It is not car accidents. It is certainly not immigrants. How about we start to inspect ships when they come over so we don't have an influx of fentanyl? There is more fentanyl in this country right now than we need for the next 50 years. It is finding its way into drugs that are being used illegally and without any guardrails whatsoever, and it is killing people by the tens of thousands a month. Forget about actually getting to the root cause as to why somebody might turn to drugs as a way of life anyways. Let's just try and stop it at the source so then you can't fit it. Oh, well, people always try and hurt themselves and blah, blah. Okay, fine. But let's not do it that way anymore because it's a horrible thing. And by the way, their intention is not suicide when they start taking drugs or heroin or whatever. They start popping pills because their doctor didn't give them an exit strategy and didn't really pay attention to them when they were going through things. The doctor didn't put two and two together when they were coming in every other week going, my back. Here's some more, whatever. And then when the doctor does finally figure it out, they go out on the street and they're like, hey, I could use some pills. You know what they put in those pills? Some fentanyl, because they want their stuff to be the really good stuff, and fentanyl makes everything expand quicker. Understand the science is actually part of this. That's why fentanyl is in these drugs, because you get the high much quicker, much further. You spike and then you crash every time. Science proves it. You know what else proves it? China is the number one supplier. And by the way, when they can't get it through China, they get it through Mexico. It's not the immigrants that are killing us. It's the drugs. Period. By the way, the number one pack mule is your soccer mom that are compromised to try and get ahead. And here's an extra 10 grand to stuff this into your pants as you go through customs. True story. because she has blue eyes and blonde hair, and nobody would ever think she's a mule. Are you getting what I'm putting down here? It's a thing. Statistically, by 2028, every person in the United States will have a loved one that has died because of a drug overdose. Pick out your favorite niece or nephew. That's the one. You want to stand up for it now? Here we go. It's a thing. Let's shed some light here in Scorpio season. Let's make some things kind of flow and glow. Let's kind of uncover some secrets. Ooh, that's what we'll be doing. We're gonna talk about uncovering the secrets here. I have no idea which way the camera's faced, but we'll figure it out. Physical and emotional. Yeah, you got it. Hey, Connie, I see you there, love. Oh, hold on a second. Stay tight there, Debbie. Big changes coming. Connie, by the way, funny story. I did a wedding last weekend of a mutual friend of ours. Miss Bex and her Paul got married. And I was honored to do the ceremony. And of course, I had messy handwriting, so I had to fill it out again. And of course, this is what I wanted to write on the old marriage certificate. I wanted to say, "Oh, you can't read my handwriting," and I just put "Doctor" right in front of it. Yes, Connie. Yes. Here we go. Hey, Emily, I see you. Melanie, I see you as well. Oh, by the way, if you like these cards, you're going to love the show on Friday night out at the good old Glove. Connie, you're working on it. You're working on it. You are working on it. You're also taking charge. Here comes the King of Wands. Oh, this is going to be quick. These are quick changes. These are going to be living, loving all of the time. Oh, how about the Queen of Pentacles? This is you doing the right thing. By the way, the Peanuts card are really fun, aren't they? We're going to do this the right way. Oh, money, money, money. How about that? Love everything about this. So then you get the King of Wands as well. So you know what this is? You get two Kings of Wands here. Yeah, this is about you taking charge. I think you're taking charge of your financial stuff as seen by the Queen of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles. I don't know if you're like, I don't know. If I didn't know better, I'd say you're cashing something in. Or since there's so much dad energy here, by the way, is there dad stuff we can work with? Is there dad stuff we can get through? Right? That's kind of fun. Here we go. By the way, I'm going to work with some astrology cards. I haven't worked with these guys in a while. Oh, square, semi-square, quincunx, tension. So this might have a little bit of tension connected to it, but I'd be all in, Connie. Like really, like dive into it. Like dive into it. So that tension, and by the way, the semi-squared quincunx is a it's kind of a take it or leave it. It's kind of a cold placement. Where sextile's like a super like kind of like we're gonna gently kind of help you. Yeah. Oh no. Listen, Connie, the cards say yes, but it's gonna move quick and it's gonna be progressive. So hang with it. Circle gets the square. I love it, Black Belt. All right, Connie. Good luck. I love it. We actually brought you up the other day. I've told the story before. We'll skip it here. Emily, how are we doing here? Oh, choices. By the way, this right here is a Scorpio card. Are you in the latter half of Scorpio? Are you into November, are you, Emily? You don't have... Good, Connie. I'm glad that you're ready. You can be scared. Then you get the Chariot. This is some sheer definition of like determination, right? Are you the last week of Scorpio, Emily? Like 11/19? 11/18? Because then here comes the King of Swords. This is dad energy, father energy. Being able to say to you, like, hey, the 19th, how am I doing at home? Um, mm, yeah, this is about taking. So here's your choices, right? The Seven of Cups is a very unique card because it's got everybody's head poking out of here. You've got an Aquarian fair-haired person. You've got a sword hidden, which is like hidden knowledge. You have a snake. By the way, I saw a snake this morning coming out of my house. I have a hunter cat that was like, "We're not going to take this. We're going to make sure. Get out of my way. Papa's coming through." He's like guarding. He's like swatting him out of the way. Like, get out of my dad's way. Cat people have votes. So then you have the castle, and then you have the opulence, and then you have doing the right thing, and then you have kind of the deception. You have a little bit of everything here, right? And it's choices. It's like choices, like choose your own adventure, right? Chariot says you better know who you are. You better know what you want before you ask it. Because if you're going to do this high manifestation stuff, you're going to get shot out of a cannon. You better have your direction clear. Then it becomes the emotional maturity to take which direction it puts you in. Right? Wow. Here's some balance. Again, financial stuff here. Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles are a great card about the balance and the altruistic nature as to where it is you might go. It actually makes you a good person overall. And then you have the Empress here. So this is about you. We've got some feminine divine energy here for sure. But when you present it like this, along with the Chariot, this is you standing up for who you are as you want to be seen. You're being seen. And then I'm going to give you the Two of Pentacles. One of the seven soulmate cards sitting in there. This one's about balance. This one's about juggling. This is about taking it to another level. This is about recommending like a greater good. Oh yeah. Emily, I never thought I'd say this, but here's Uranus. It's about change. It's about a change dynamic for you. Are you changing? Is that what's going on here, Em? Come on, we're all friends. It's just us girls here. If I didn't know better, I'd say you're making choices about maybe something financial, maybe something about your work. But this is also kind of like a getting what you deserve and saying, you know what, I love the people I work with, but I can't stay here. Kind of, sort of there. Oh, so Emily, this is really about you partnering with somebody. I'm going to tell you what this is. This isn't fixer-upper projects. I think what this is you being able to connect the dots for you to find somebody to be like, getting it out of your head that it's going to be 2.3 kids, white picket fence. He's going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a teacher. And we're going to vacation in the Cape, and we're going to get that shit out of your head. Fine. Be the person, meet the person. This is a practical relationship too, by the way, but it's change. Are you comfortable being alone? Well, there you go. You're getting a whole bunch of this. Get ready for the change. Happy birthday, by the way. That is also my son's birthday. Just to let you know. He is turning 18 this year. What do you get an 18-year-old that doesn't deserve anything? I'm just having a good time with that one. Love you, Cheyenne. I know okay, true story. I actually caught him watching my channel the other day. And I'm like, oh, you're watching one of my shovel up in heels. And you know what he says to me? Yeah, Dad, you look stupid. Give me back those binoculars. Give me back the internet. Yeah, work through those applications there for sure. All right, guys. Here we go. Oh, Janet, looks like you're doing the homework. Janet's 5 placement in the 2 houses in Scorpio. Oh, my God. You're talking like you're taking a class. Love it. Love it. I'm going to go a little bit random here, and I see you guys. I'm going to make sure I get to most of here. Caroline. I'm going to say Caroline. Sweet. Here we go. Did I throw all of these back in there? I did. All right, here we go. Little wounded warrior action here. Don't relax. Relax. Let Brandon take care of it. Let me roll these out. 2.0, little change. Talk about change. By the way, Judgment and Uranus go hand in hand. Oh, yeah. Chicken dinner. That you are part of something productive. Well, why stop there? Seriously. And I'm back. Very interesting that you would get the Seven of Wands here because that is taking the higher ground. That is you saying, I'm going to find a way to do this. And you know what? I'm going to heal myself. I don't need any of you shit bags. I'm going to do this myself. Right? The Judgment is here. And my regards, George Harrison. Here comes the sun. So the sun shines light on the Judgment card because you're ready to become. You've gone into the cocoon, right? You got beat up. You said, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. The Judgment card comes out 2.0. It's not judgment, it's discernment. It's you saying to yourself, I can do better. I know I can do better. I'm going to be better. Then the sun shines light and says, right? And then let us go and, here's some other movement. 3 of Wands. Wow, a lot of fire energy right here. A lot of fire energy. I don't know what your placements are here, Caroline, but I'm going to tell you this right now. This is about you moving for your own happiness. This is about moving for your own peace of mind, your own mental health, your better job, your better life. I like this placement for you. I don't know if you can make comment on that there. Yeah, proper use of the word shitbag. How'd you like that one, huh? Hey, Lizzie, I see you there. It's an interesting thing too. Oh wait, son of a gun. One more card. I'm so sorry. I'm getting old over here. Oh, sixth house sustainability. So this was about your mental health connected to what it is that you needed to do. Right. So the sixth house represents the things that are closest to you, right? The people, the places, the money, the job, all of that stuff. So this is all good movement, to be honest with you. Yeah, did you come from a place of being beat up a little bit? But yeah, who hasn't? You know, it's just kind of the way you got to roll with it, right? Yes, I see you hang out there. Yes, Black Bell, I see you there. You do get the money. Hey, Callie, how are you? I see you there. Hey, how about this one? Hey, Dee, how are you? From sunny, I'm assuming sunny California, better than average California. Oh, look at you, leader. Get right down with the people and make sure everybody kind of gets what they need, right? But you've been there. You've been there. Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band, but here's the reward, everybody. By the way, the Lover's card is also known as the Choice card. So what this says basically is you're kind of trying to heal people along the way. You're trying to do the right thing. You're defending them. You're making them feel safe. You're making them be seen. The Lover's card comes out because it's a pair. It is one of the soulmate cards. Here, though, it's really about pairing for yourself. It's you saying, this is the work I'm meant to do. Fair enough, 80? I hope I'm bringing you down this way. And then we got the World card. Possible movement. Maybe you want to take on the other side of it. Right? Oh, Page of Cups. He done did you wrong. Right there with the Three of Swords, the two of them together, the heartbreak, the heartache, it's gonna be a heartache tonight. A heartache tonight, I know. All I know. Oh, you happy now? I'm pretty sure you're gonna be happy. Because the Two of Cups and the Lover's card coming out together. It's not Barry White's fault if you don't get any today. Holy Toledo. A whole lot of love. So I would look at it as in you have to recognize that whatever you went through was worth it. right? Maybe you had to kiss a bunch of frogs. I don't know your business, right? Yeah, this is a stress card. That's your stress. But there's some destiny involved with it. And I'm not going to lie, this kind of looked like SpongeBob a little bit when I pulled it out. But this is a fifth house. This is a passionate thing. Now, we do keep this a PG-13 channel, but this is kind of saying like, oh, he leaves the toilet seat up and his socks on the floor, but oh, he makes me sing like the angels. Yeah. That's my impression of California. I'm an idiot. It's me keeping it clean, but Haiti, yeah, is it worth it? Yeah. Yeah. I think every relationship is worth it. It's worth it if you learn, it's worth it if you grow. Does that make sense? Lizzie, I see you over here on Facebook. How are you? By the way, just a program note. If you're looking for the show on Saturday with Penny, it's only on YouTube. Only on YouTube. Just to let you know. All right, here you go. You asked for it, Lizzie. You big dumb fool. By the way, also a Uranus card. A lot of Uranus stuff going on here. So this is a new journey. The fool's journey, if you will. Deciding how you go. Oh, and loss. By the way, we just talked about this because it is the first card of Scorpio. By the way, this time tomorrow, we're in the fifth card. Fifth card of the cups. Ugh. What'd you lose, Lizzie? Who'd you lose? Who did you lose? Oh, Haiti, I'm glad that could help you there. Callie, I see you too. So here we go. Lizzie, let's talk. It's just us girls. We've got like a Pinot. We opened it up. We decided to get the whole bottle because we were like 1, 2, 3, 6 glasses. Like we were good, right? It's just us talking. And we realized that the things that we have, we might not be able to sustain because this is a new world. And what's going to affect that is going to be letting stuff go, realizing that you're going to have things that need to be let go of, whether it be through fruition, through natural, through whatever. The 5 of Cups are kind of like a pause. The 8 of Cups kind of lends itself to say like, things would be great, but I'm going to miss this one thing, right? It's the one thing where you're like, oh, son of a gun. Wish I still had it. So I'm not entirely sure. Oh, sorry, Lizzie. Sorry about your mom. As we say in the work, spot on. By the way, guys, I have a Signs from Loved Ones class coming up. Just go to the website, tbrandonruss.com. I'm going to type that stuff in right now. So then you guys don't forget it. Please sign up for it. Lizzie, I really hope you can make it. By the way, if you can't make it, but you want the recording, just sign up for it because I'll send the recording out afterwards. But go to the website today. It's free. It's a pay whatever you wish, but feel free to take it for free. And it's an idea for you to be able to hang in there, Amanda. It's a way for you to start to build that relationship with mom, right? I have 2 elderly parents. I get it. I know what I'm looking at. When I go on these whirlwind tours with my dad, know that I make no mistake. Make no mistake why I'm doing it. Make no mistake why I'm doing it. Here's some messages and how we're going to do it. So this is a relationship that has grown, but the dynamics have changed. The Fool is the dynamic that's changed. The 7 of Pentacles are kind of the work that you're doing, and it doesn't always necessarily come to fruition, but it is something that you're going to be able to connect with, right? Right. So it's kind of like a the 7 of Pentacles are like the fruit that always grows but never comes to ripe. So this is kind of like you saying, I might have been taking it for granted, thinking I would never have to pick this fruit. All right, 5 of Cups. Oh, 9 of Wands. Wounded warrior with this one. Listen, you're taking care of her. You've got dynamics where you're going to feel like you're in the lurch. There's parts of it that are just so in your face about how this loss is going to profoundly affect you. Not going to lie. Not going to lie. And the Lover's card comes out. If I didn't know better, I'd be like, let them go. It's not worth it. Let them go. No. You know what this is? This is you realizing that you and your mom really had a kinship. You might not have always gotten along, but now you're realizing that these are the things, these are the moments that you're like, I can't get this back. You know, when I took my dad to the state fair out in Minnesota, and you're like, of all the places to go to, right? Of all the fucking places. By the way, we flew over 7 other state fairs to get there. That was his childhood. His childhood was a 8 block radius, you know, in the late 50s, early 60s. That was his childhood. That was his stomping ground. Now he's got one leg, and now we just push him around. But it was dynamic for him to see his brothers, see his family, see everybody connected there. And you know what? It was awesome to see. I remember thinking to myself, my boys were taking care of the car. And he had a motorized scooter, but you know, you had to tend to some stuff with it. And I'm watching the boys kind of do what they needed to do, and I'm like, how awesome is this? This is how my kids are going to remember my dad. I remember my dad because he was the one out in the baseball field going, you know, well, this glove fits, I'll have a catch with you. Right? They're going to remember him as the old man with the quippy things and redirections and that sort of thing. I know not the hour nor the place. But I know that when you take your opportunities the right way, you never regret them. Right? Come on, really? Then I'm going to give you solar flares here in the astrological chart card deck. And I'm going to tell you without any hesitation, this is about you shining. Bad news is none of us are going to make it. Not one of us. In the history of forever, nobody lives forever. At least not anybody here. Which is, by the way, the fanciful part of vampires. But the solar flare cards are about rejuvenation. I'm going to give you a bold prediction. When your mother passes, and I hope you get more time than you ever thought you were going to get or deserve, you're going to go through a period of time where it's going to get dark. You're going to go within. You're not going to want to do things. I'm going to invite you out for a Pinois, and you're going to go, no, Brandon. And I'm going to go, okay. And you're going to sit with it, and you're going to think about it, and you're going to go, like, this is how much I just cared about this woman. And you're going to remember the small things that she did, the little things. And then you're going to realize the things that she didn't really tell you about that she did, but you'll find the evidence of it. You know, a pay slip that she took a job while you were at school, or an additional job, which is why she would stay out late a couple of nights for the week. You know, but she would always do it right about this time, right after Halloween. And she would do those little extra things, and she would sew buttons or whatever it is she would do. You'll think about it, and you'll be like, that's her. And then you'll make a list. I want you to write down the things that made her unique to you. And by the way, they'll be encapsulated with the story. I remember the time my mom gave me this, or the time my mother did this with me. She was always this constant. And you know what? Even though I didn't benefit from it, I saw her take care of a sibling. And that meant a lot to me. My job was to stay out of her way because they were taking care of the other sibling. Trust me, I'm reading it. And when she's gone, and when she figures out that she's dead, not trying to be crude, she'll come back to you in ways of signs. She has the ability to then come to you in all sorts of forms. Maybe it's birds, maybe it's pennies, maybe it's feathers, maybe it's music, maybe it's buttons. But she has this amazing thing that she wants to partner with you on the other side and say to you, I got your back now. I just did a class on spirit guides in my weekly B, which you can sign up for on the website. And the concept of spirit guides are, there's a lot of false information out there, which, by the way, is part of working in the spiritual world. A lot of bullshit out there. People just channeled it and they told me. It's like, okay, well, let's get a couple more people saying the same thing, and then we can start to say yes. Right? But this is what I know. You're not going to regret anything you're doing right now with her. Up to and including getting a reading like this. I don't know what the 47 or 74 is. They show it to me frontwards or backwards. Sunflowers. I don't know what the blueberry thing is. Are you in Maine? Or up that way? Blueberry pancakes, blueberry muffins. Lizzie, I know. You sure if you want to. No. Through all that, you're just going to give me a no. I love you. You're right here in Clifton Park. Stalker. I don't know what the blueberries are. And I'm not sure what 74 is. Or 47. I don't know what Christian is. I've been getting a ton of Christophers and Christians lately. Christines. Build that relationship. Help her understand what she needs to know about you. And it's okay if you say, Mom, can you always help me with this? Whatever this thing is. That's how you build a relationship with somebody while they're here. There are no rules here. Dad, how are you going to come back to me? Son, we have a joke in the family. And my nephew says it, my kids say it. And we joke around pretty intensely. And like most dads and dad's jokes, he yeah, thank you, Lizzie. His running joke is, do I smell popcorn? After he's had some sort of intestinal event. And we all go, I don't know, I don't smell popcorn. Do you smell popcorn? Oh, you just ate some blueberries? There you go. But my dad's sitting there going, do you smell popcorn? And you're like, Dad, you just ripped one. That's not funny. That's not funny. And he's like, yeah, that's kind of how I'll let you know. And I go, not roses, not pennies. You're going to drop stink bombs on me. Got it. Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Dad. Where am I going here? Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Yeah, Jenny, I see you. Maria, thanks for chiming in there and showing the support. Yeah, Pauline, Kim, Nation Unheard of from a while. How are you? Colleen, good to see you again. Colleen actually had the pleasure of watching me do 2 shows on Wednesday, and she had an appointment. She had to take a friend to something. Hey, Amanda, how are you? And she just drove down I-88 like I did, and away we go. All right, Amanda, here we go. How do we play? I don't know, you badass healer. Here we go. Ace of Wands. Gonna pick up the energy here. Go this way. King of Cups. What a dynamic duo. Whatever it is, it works in the Hierophant. Wow, talk about that. All right, here we go from left to right. We're going to be talking about the new idea. We're going to be talking about how it is that you're doing it about love, but this is not a pie in the sky thing. This is going to be done the right way. I've always loved your ideas. I'm so happy to know you and having the mutual friends that we do. It is a kick-ass way to go. But here we are, the King of Cups again. Dong diggity. So the King of Cups we got to talk about here because he made 2 appearances. We got to do a deeper dive here. Spirit calls the shots. I just have to answer. If not, my review doesn't look good. I get demerits, and then whatever. King of Cups are really important in the deck because it is the least emotional of all of the cup cards. Right? Cups are emotions. It's water signs. But the King has control over their emotions. It's being passionate about something but still being logical. You've gotten that card twice. This is a logical idea, and quite frankly, this is telling me that it has purpose. I don't know what that is. Knight of Spades. This is an idea that's new. You're taking a risk. You're seeing it for what it's worth, and you're diving into something new. Forward. The bomb diggity. The one that goes, well, thank you so much for coming, but I'd really like to make sure that everybody's safe and okay and happy ever after. And you're about to embark on the last thing that you ever needed to do. Here's the advice from the universe, though. We're going to ask you to do a little retrograde here, review. I'll translate for you. You've had some things not work before in the past. This is very important for you to review the things that didn't work and don't do it again. That's what that retrograde is. By the way, retrograde is an awesome time for you to get your shit together, get your ideas together, and learn from it. Everybody gets so upset with retrogrades, and part of the reason why people get upset with retrogrades is because it's work. You don't like work. By the way, every light worker turns around and goes like, yeah, they're a great person. They don't do the work. More than a handful of people that have been around me over the years that just never wanted to do the work. And I'm like, what? I'm on a spiritual journey and I have a bunch of crystals and I want the world to be kumbaya. Well, Mercury's in retrograde. Who do you have to have a conversation with? I will never talk to them again. They are dead to me. I released them 3 full moons ago. But you didn't do the work with them. You know, I had people that just flat out made shit up about me because they didn't like me. And by the way, anybody that ever says they don't like me or they have a problem with me, they all have one thing in common. I told them no. The crystal just jumped. Holy crap. And the reason why I bring this up is you got to know who you are as you go out there. The only way you're going to know who you are is to look at yourself and think you're, I don't care if it's, hey, this behavior doesn't work, or hey, this batting stance isn't getting me hits. Hey, being a miserable person isn't getting me what I want. Hey, being at home all the time isn't getting me the person I want to connect with. Sometimes it is easier to just do nothing. The number one problem with the generation coming in isn't because they don't know how to work or they're lazy or immigrants or whatever. They don't know how to negotiate and maneuver in a relationship. They're not making babies. That's a problem. Because, by the way, the generation before me, it was 2.3 kids and white picket fence. My generation was like, do you need 2? Do you really need them both? Can we just do one for a while? And now this generation is just like, it's too expensive. It's too hard. It's too, I came into this world screwed up. Why would I want to bring other people into it? We are kind of sort of screwed with our population right now. Could we thin out the herd? Could we move it through for, whatever? Yeah, I guess. But in a non-embattled way, we don't need as many people because let's not fight wars anymore. There's an idea. But in an altruistic sense, like, what do we really need? Once upon a time, the 8, 9, 12, sibling family was super necessary because they had to go work the field. Right? Amanda, thanks so much. I can't wait to hear that. We really do need to connect, though. You were on my mind during the retreat, by the way, that I just had down in the Catskills, planning so much more. Can't wait to connect with you. Hey, Brittany, how are you? Old friend Brittany, happy birthday, by the way. I totally missed your birthday. I opened up the old Facebook machine, and there you go. Let me give you. Here's your present. Are you ready? Here's your present. Knight of Swords. By the way, how do I know Brittany? Brittany took classes. She would hang out here for days on end. I'm just kidding. She showed up a couple of times. And then the Hangman. This is about a different perspective. Oh, I think I know where we're going. I knew it. Welcome to Scorpio season, everybody. How about the Death card? Well, hang on a second. By the way, I didn't get you anything for your birthday. Here are 3 shitty. I didn't get you anything for your birthday, but here are 3 shitty cards. I want to make sure that went out live. Brittany. Come here. Come here. This idea that things are going to be like, I'm going to charge ahead. You have to do it a little bit different. You have to have a different perspective, and you have to change. Sincere change on the horizon. By the way, the Death card ain't dead, right? The Death card is just an opportunity to change the moon. So this is you chasing dreams. Dream person. Dream situation. Oh. The Strength card comes out. Along with the Hangman, you are a powerhouse. I think this is how you look at yourself. The Strength card on top of the Hangman talks about not only, by the way, 2 major arcanas, but talks about the dynamic about how if you look at things differently, you're breaking the mold. It would have taken a lot of courage for Aaron Rodgers to decline that penalty. That's that position. But instead, he just went along with it. It was like, oh, what are you going to do? They called a penalty, even though it wasn't right. Oh. Death card comes out along with the Chariot. Chariot is infamous for being fast-moving and progressive and that sort of thing, but there's a balance to it, too. The thing about the Chariot is that not only is it trying to go and get somewhere, it's trying to do it the right way. It's trying to do it within duality. I love this reading for you. I could not have gotten you a better present from Amazon, just to let you know. Yeah. No, I couldn't have. But the Chariot and the Death card are very much about where you want to go. Oh, yeah, here we go. Here we go. Midheaven. This is the pinnacle. From the pit to the pinnacle. To the pinnacle to the pit. What does that mean? It means this is talking about career. It's talking about your place in the family. It's talking about you taking a chance and a risk of going and doing something else. Because you know what I've always wanted to do? I've always wanted to do something different. You know what my dream job is? The Knight and the Sword, the Knight of Swords and the Moon. I've always wanted to have a completely different career, but I haven't had the courage, or I would need a lot of courage in order to do it. And you know what? I'd really have to change, and I'd have to do a lot of things differently, and I'd have to do them quickly. I'd have to pull on all my tools. Listen, Brittany, you got a lot going for you. You're smart. You're funny. You're a great mom. You got the backbone now. You got the backbone to be who you want to be. Right? Hope I connected a little bit there. Hope I did. I just think the world of you. I know what you're dealing with. I know what you're doing, and you're always going to be awesome in my book. Happy birthday. That's simple. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a few more here. Black belt. I'm gonna have fun with you here. That's what was told to me, that no one liked me. How can everyone have a problem with me? Oh my gosh. I'm gonna sort that out. Yeah, there you go. We're doing this. All right, everybody, let's rally around for Black Bell here. I think we can all get around for her. She's a show contributor. She visits us often. By the way, it's not my fault you make too much money. And by the way, before you say too much money, this is assets, this is time off, this is vacation time, this is whatever. The Knight of Wands is a different approach to kind of say, like, hey, I'm going to go in a different way, and then you're going to do some manifesting. You're out of there, girl. You're not pathetic. As the kids say, this is the bum diggity. I'm just letting you know. This is a whole bunch of everything. Do you want me to get into the steward? I'll get into the steward. By the way, one of these times, I'm going to do an entire show and I'm going to be Peter Griffith through the whole thing. All right, Lois, here we go. You got the 10 of Pentacles. I don't know what that is. It's a bunch of change on the ground. I don't know, Lois. I'm a little off tonight, but the Knight of Wands and the Magician, I'm going to tell you what this is. This is the money. This is kind of like you think you have foundation, and then you're like, something's off. The Knight of Wands is a warrior. Charges. Says, maybe you're standing up for something right. This is your position where you're like, I kind of got this. Woodstock falls out of the tree. It's a death card. Zoink. There's change coming. That's what that is. Just take it for change. Change a job, change a position, change your attitude. Yeah. Knight of Wands could be you standing up for yourself. Oh, it could be version 2.0. They know you a particular way, and they don't think you're going to talk back. They don't think you're going to put up a fight. Yeah. They don't know me very well. I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. And then we have the Magician and the Star. Oh, yeah. Do you know what the Magician and the Star represent here? You defended yourself. Good. And you know what? This is you changing it because you're the change agent. The Star and the Magician together makes you the manifester. Makes you the person to kind of be like, listen, if you made up your mind and said, I got to get out of here, I'd say, just throw down the application, show up for the job on the first day. And then you're like, but Brandon, I didn't get the job yet. Just show up. They like that. They let you go today? Did this just happen? Got to give us an update. They let you go like today. Well, first of all, you were watching this shitbag show at work. I mean, you can make better life choices. Let's be honest. You know what this is? This is you going somewhere else. That's what it is. This death card on you lost your job. It's right there. Can't make it up. Then you're going to, listen, this is you going in a different direction. But let me tell you something. They needed to reposition you. The Pleiades, the angels, the stars up above, they needed you in a different spot. You're supposed to help somebody else, kid. That's all. Those rat bastards. She got let go during her probationary period. And by the way, they made you sign all sorts of papers and all sorts of whatever. Can I help you here? I got you. Saturn card comes out. Guess what that is? Stability. This is. You're a fan of the show. I'm a fan of yours. This is about structure. You're getting a new gig. You're getting a better gig. Cut it out. Quit worrying about it. I know you're in California, and I know that 21% of all people are in a temporary or a contract position in California. I know those stats because I was in the recruiting industry for 15 years. I won awards. I was lauded. I was blah, blah, blah. But the reason why I got out of it is because I was moving people from one broken situation to another. The next gig is going to be a good one. Now, Saturn, if you want to look at this as a timing card, there's really not a whole lot of timing card aside from January. The 10 of Pentacles is into January. Hope it's sooner, whatever. Get a seasonal gig, whatever. But your long-term happiness, in order to kind of get yourself going, is coming, kid. It's in the stars. It's in your cards. And by the way, I get the feeling you're going to help people. I get the feeling like the things you were doing was just kind of like, yeah, by the way, you were too much of a pain in the ass. With all of the things that all the companies I worked with, and I worked for Fortune 100 companies, I was in the boardroom, I was in the break room, I was on the floor. It didn't matter. Like I really kind of pulled things together for companies, and I would roll up my sleeves, I'd get connected, and I would kind of understand them. And there's two types of companies that work with temporary staffing. There is the one that are doing it for the reasons of expansion and the reasons for them to kind of like, this is their process. They like this process. They have certain overhead numbers that they have to keep. And, are you going to be a temp for 90 days or are you going to be a temp for 6 months? Okay. Sometimes their process is a little convoluted, but they still have good intention. They still want to be a place for you. And really good companies will say, what was your start date with the temp agency? Because that's your actual start date. We're going to start giving you vacation up until then. Or that'll be your anniversary date when you get things, or whatever the case may be. The shitbag companies, which, by the way, shitbag is clearly the word of the day, are the ones that have no intention on actually doing right by you. They expect you to get frustrated, speak your mind, and quit. That's what I feel like you were in. Just to let you know. Badge of honor. Badge of honor. I love it. And you'll have more time to watch me. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. That was awful. Oh, well, Black Belt, there you go. That is the reason why you were doing it, right? That's the reason why you had to kind of take a step back. She's going to work on her mediumship, guys. Right? That's the way it goes. Speaking of old friends, Kimmy, how are you? Hope you're doing well. But right now, 4 of Cups. What are you missing out on? I don't think you're missing out per se. Oh, here's the star card. 2 reads in a row where the star card comes out. Oh, you're making a choice. I don't know. Maybe you're feeling a little unfulfilled. Maybe this is about retirement. Maybe this is about you kind of, which country should I live in? I want to stay here, but should I stay or should I go now? 6 of Cups. 6 of Cups and the 4 of Cups hit 2 Cancerian placements, by the way. And the Cancerian. Yeah, one's Cancerian. One's Scorpio. One is tomorrow. What's happening tomorrow? No. 1, 2, 2, 2. No, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7. So yeah, this is not tomorrow. 5 is tomorrow. I just taught a class on it. I should know it. But it's kind of in that sweet spot. Like it's right after Halloween. It's November 1 to the 10th. But new beginnings. The 9 of Cups is about sharing what you got, sharing your wealth, sharing your connector, sharing your opulence, whatever that looks like to you. It's not being in the face, but there it is. Yeah, this is just a take charge situation. Got to grab it. Grab it by the horns. Yeah, the Knight of Wands right here with the Two of Swords is very much. I don't know why I get travel with this. I get a boatload of travel with this. I don't know what this is. It's about changing your perception because here comes the moon. You're a bit of a moon girl, I kind of sense, right? It's kind of the way it rolls. Oh my gosh. Well, Kim, thanks so much. Is that hold on a second. I got your Facebook picture up here. Is this a grandbaby? Is this a grandbaby? Your birthday's November 1st. Well, there it is. There's your card. By the way, that's also new babies. Holy shit. It's the new babies. You're all excited about it. You have choices about, like, if you move. I don't know if you're contemplating moving away or not spending the time with it, but you're gonna be like, oh no, we're gonna make this happen. And boy, oh boy, grandbabies come in, they change your perception at a big time. In a big, big way. My dad's just like, my favorite part about this is, I go, what? He goes, they go home with you. True story. True story. It's a thing for certain, right? All the way through. All right, guys, listen. I got a balls out schedule. Thursday, I'm laying low. I'm getting some stuff done. I'm going to have some surprises at the show on Friday. I'm going to be introducing the new Oracle deck. Good, Kim. I'm glad it was fruitful for you. And I'm going to be rolling out on November 1st, maybe the 11th, how you can become part of the process. I'm creating an Oracle deck with an artist. I create the meditations. She takes them and she creates these watercolors and other artist rendered things. She does use some graphic art design as well to make some of the stuff pop, but her concepts are really kind of from her head. We're not using AI. I will never use AI for creativity, not for auto tune, whatever. I'd rather sound like shit, and I do, than have it be unauthentic, right? And a couple of cards here. Here we go. North Node. By the way, that's Destiny. By the way, I'm pulling how the show's going to go for me on Friday. I pulled up the World card. Two of Cups. It's what I love to do. And it is going to be unlike anything else you've ever seen or thought you would ever see a medium do. And I pulled the North Node card, which is Destiny. I'm destined to do the show on Friday. I'm destined to be up in Glens Falls on Saturday. I'm destined to have a pizza party. I'm destined to be at Sakandaga again. I'm going to be out in Utica as well. By the way, I see 5 people bought tickets in Utica while we were on this. So thank you guys. Makes it worthwhile to get going on this stuff and do it. By the way, those of you that are global, do look for me to add in. I had to work out a date, but do look for me to be able to do an online circle. I'm going to get 2 of them in between here. I'll do one right before Thanksgiving and right before Christmas. So make sure you guys connect with your loved ones. All right. All right, guys, listen, heart taps around the world, heart taps around everybody here. Thanks so much for being part of my journey. And I'm going to see you out there. I'm going to see you here. Also, mark your calendars for New Year's Eve. I have a special. We're going to see you guys. Thanks so much for being part of the journey here. I will talk to you guys soon. Oh, yeah. By the way, if you want in at Deacon Blues, I just got a notification. I've got less than however many tickets I set it for. Go get it. See you guys soon.